Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And with the Doug Censor Martin saga thankfully coming to an end, Dashy has revealed the key thing that he would change in Modern Warfare 2 to try and raise the skill gap. I believe the pros could actually try and change this on their own, at least to some degree. He reckons the aim assist over the last few years has become significantly too strong, and the pros need to either GA dynamic aim assist or try to lobby Infinity Ward to reduce the amount of aim assist on the weapons if they want the skill gap to go back up again. Very much into your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you are new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. We're on the verge of 86,000 as well. Love to see it. Let's crack straight on with things here. First, all this from Waskin. We saw the news a few days ago that Scraps is likely to be the substitute this season for the London Royal Ravens. No confirmation yet as to what their roster is going to be. We expect Asim, Nasty, Paulex, and Zero to be this team of 4, with maybe Scraps there on the bench. A player that would more than likely step into the flex position if it was required. Of course, Zero can run any role, and of course, Waskin's going to try and find his own place back in the league as well at some point or another. So he's going to grind through the challenger side, I imagine. Of course, these guys both had good success back in Modern Warfare 2019, so they're looking to run it back this time once again. Now, just to talk about the center stuff, because finally it's kind of been rounded to an interesting conclusion we'll see here in a second. And I do think there was an element here of Doug realizing that, okay, the initial thing that he was trying to do with the whole outing the cheaters from the Vanguard, ranked play ladders and stuff, I think that was generally just kind of good intentions from Doug's side. But then when the whole Nadia thing started to come up, I think he realized there might have been an opportunity here to get some views, let's just say, because as Brian Stats points out here, if you look at Censor's YouTube channel over the last 30 days or whatever, you can see the viewership that, skyrocketed with the video that he put out the other day, racking up another 10,000 subscribers, I'm sure, pouring in all the Twitch revenue and stuff like this as well. So, probably tactical to some degree, right, from Doug here. And even says this last night, down astronomical, twitch.tv/censor. I didn't even tune in, but I'll show you guys what he had to show for everyone yesterday. And even as Nameless is saying here, I just caught up on all of this. I don't know how you managed to swindle everyone. Typical performance. Next time I'm going to be there to stop these stunts for the community's sake. I can't keep letting you get away with this, right? And as Doug says, once I wore the wire in NOLA, I knew it was fate, right? So that was the whole wire story that I guess was in NOLA several years ago, New Orleans. That, the early World War II event in Dallas, then I think it went New Orleans, both of which were won by Team Caliber at the time. Good times in Call of Duty, of course, with the aim assist maybe wasn't quite as strong as it was today. We'll see that here in a second, because certainly that was the case in World War II, when it was not exactly easy to map someone with the PPSH, as it, let's say, has been in previous titles. Now, even this, right, because we saw this tweet yesterday from Charlie Intel saying that Doug embarrassed himself live. Doug's like, okay, did I really? They're like, yes. And even Doug comes back here to try, and I don't exactly know what his plan was here, but he's obviously talking to Charlie Intel about something or another. And I guess they never replied to him or gave him the answer that he wanted, so he was trying to roast them a little bit here. Not really sure that worked out in his favor. So anyway, that's kind of where it ends a little bit, apart from this from T Squared, who says, I heard gaming boxing matches are a thing at Censor. I know you're 2 feet tall, but let's get in the ring. I don't want money. We can put it to charity. 6 months from now, I'm standing over your body like iLLeY, right? And Doug goes, I'll think about it. And then even Clay says, gotta make this happen. I'll have to go and see this in person. So that would be, I think, the next step for Doug if he really does want to double down on the whole, the whole clap chasing thing of the last couple of days or so. Then I think Doug should fully commit to it, right? I think it would be an entertaining affair if Doug gets in the ring with someone or another. We'd love to see it for Call of Duty, right? We always joked a year or so ago about the whole Crimsix versus Formal thing. And if COD does really want to cement its status as the WWE of esports, then, someone has got to take the plunge first. Maybe it'll be Doug Censor Martin, right? And even he comes up with this on stream last night. He missed the water on his face. And, okay, I don't know if this is actually on stream or if he recorded this as a TikTok or something. And he was trying to apologize or say he's down bad or whatever. And then he says, look, he's got to apologize to absolutely nobody. And he hops on and plays ranked play. And he was talking about plenty of things on stream last night. But I'm not going to go through it today. If you guys want to check it out, feel free. But I think for now, that's where we thankfully are going to have to leave this story. So let's talk about something serious about Modern Warfare 2. Firstly, though, this October 15th through the 16th is, of course, Hitch's Black Ops 2 Throwback Tourney. 4 teams here, invitational tourney. This is Team Killer. This might be the funniest team of the lot. Honestly, there's a lot of good teams here. We'll see them in a second. But this is, of course, Killer's team. Killer and Bo's already is just pure comedy. And then the other 2 guys to join is honestly great fun as well. So Killer is here, Black Ops 2 World Champion. Embo's also on the team. And then they round the team out with a couple of guys that are still playing, of course, Call of Duty nowadays. One of which being Claystat, but of course, he's not exactly a new Jedi, right? Clay's been around for a rather long period of time, and he's going to play this as well. Kind of crazy, really, that out of the entire Black Ops 2 complexity team, which Claystat, of course, was dropped from in the early early part of Ghost, I believe, for Karma. Like, you know, Clay, of course, is the last man standing really on that roster, right? TP's retired, Aches, Crimsix, Karma all retired. Clay is effectively the last man standing there. And Methods is going to be the third guy on the team. And then, of course, Embo's being the fourth, right? So, yeah, quite the squad, to be honest. Clay and Zed are going to be great fun. Plus, like, Killer and honestly, like, the comedy is going to be out of control. So that is the fourth team. And these are the entire rosters. So Scump, Big T, Arcitys, Pristini, Rambo, Karma, Merc, and Temp, Embo's Killer, Clay, and Methods, and then Envoy, JCap, Crimsix, and Aches, right? So a 4-team invitational tourney. Not exactly sure how it's going to work in terms of like what format they play here. Whether they play some like early group play seeding matches or something to try and determine how they're going to go, or exactly how long this lasts, not really sure. Maybe they just go straight into a double elimination bracket and try and fight it up. But I think there's maybe some other ways they could do this that would make things even better than they already will be. So definitely looking forward to that one. Let's talk then about what Dashy had to say about the aim assist in these last few Call of Duty games. It's certainly been noticeable over the last few years that there are some players that if you took the nameplate off and just had to watch their point of view without knowing who they were, there's probably some players you could still give a good idea of who you think it is based on what weapon they use and the way they shoot. I always feel like a guy like Octane, he's quite distinctive in his style when he's firing because he plays on a pretty high sensitivity, very snappy aimer AR player. So I think Octane, you can kind of tell. There's some SMGs that you can maybe tell, but in the last few years, the skill gap between the top players has definitely diminished in terms of pure aiming, right? Everyone can shoot straight nowadays, but back in the day, like when the aim assist wasn't quite so strong, there was a big skill gap in terms of who actually was shooting the best. If you missed one bullet, you're gonna lose the gunfight. Right nowadays, with the aim assist ramping up to greater heights than we've ever seen before, then the skill gap in that sense is diminished. So the skill gap becomes more in Call of Duty about team play and positioning and this type of stuff rather than just shooting straight. Which of course is nice to have a skill gap in that sense as well. Dashy, of course, would be very much in favor of that because arguably he's got the greatest gun skill, at least in terms of an AR player, that maybe we've ever seen in Call of Duty. There's no doubt he's certainly right up there, right? So I'll show a clip here that came out on the OpTic podcast a couple of days ago where Dashy says, look, the key issue in this game nowadays, especially with regard to slide cancelling and stuff, if the aim assist was less strong, all the other mechanics don't become so much of an issue, and that is the key problem he believes with the skill gap in the game as it stands, and reckons the pros, though, could, gentlemen's agreement, dynamic aim assist to actually make things a little bit better.
I'm telling you, the reason why COD is like, it just looks insane now with all this slide canceling is because of how strong the aim assist is and how fast the guns are killing. So now everyone just has to learn how to move crazy.
Dude, I have to have been the only person in the beta who thought that it takes too long to kill people. Because I would stop shooting them because I'm like, all right, that's enough bullets. Like, let me spread the well.
I don't know what gun you were using.
They started making like pre-fire games. Like you got to keep shooting. Like if you hear someone, like you might as well you kill that person and keep shooting where the other person you think is gonna come.
Dude, I feel like COD's just gotta, I don't know, like this is gonna sound like too much, but I know they're never gonna do this, but I feel like if they nerf like the aim assist, it would actually change a lot about.
Or just take dynamic out.
Because I feel, dude, like
we
get rid of dynamic.
Dynamic's
bro.
a cheat code, bro.
It's literally an AI.
Like I'm next level with dynamic.
It's an aimbot, bro. It's an actual aimbot, and I've always said, I'm like, bro, we need a GA like dynamic in the league because I'm like, bro, this thing is insane. Everyone looks like they have the best gunny ever, and it's like, bro, it makes every COD just like look like a point and click. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone's got like a vandal. Basically, everyone's just one tapping, and it takes no skill. But I don't know, like I feel like back in the day, if you saw somebody with a good shot, it was more.
It was very impressive. Yeah, impressive.
Yeah, you just knew the guy was a grinder, but now it's just like, nah, the guy has dynamic on, so it's like cool.
Like when you saw those those shooters like back in the day, like the actual like the proofies and the claysters and when Formal came on this when Formal came on the scene, people were like, I've never seen a shot like that.
Yeah.
What the hell?
That's what I mean. Like,
and then, now everyone shoots like that. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, but if they nerf like the aim assist overall, like I feel like. I don't know, like it's tough to say, but it's just all this extra stuff about slide canceling and tack sprinting. Like I feel like all of it would kind of go away because no one's really shooting that good. You know what I mean?
So I'm not exactly sure when dynamic aim assist was brought in. Not sure if it's Modern Warfare 2019 or slightly more recently, but it's definitely been a phenomenon where, like, it's classic Infinity Ward or really just classic Activision in general the last several years. Pretty much everything they've done is to cater to newer players, right? And of course there was this clip that came out a few days ago where it seems like this guy is just like his aim is just getting dragged onto all these players without even really really having to think about it, right? And the aim assist just does all the work for him. Now, I'm not sure this is, quite what we have experienced playing the games the last couple of years, but honestly, it's not far off. If you played the games back in, let's just say Black Ops 2, even Black Ops 1, it was so hard to shoot in that game. Like, you think about using the FAMAS or even Black Ops 2, the MSMC, because the aim assist ranges back in Black Ops 2 were so short for SMGs. This really isn't the case anymore. Like, if you compare, for example, Black Ops 2 to Black Ops Cold War, like, even Cold War, good competitive game, but the aim assist was much stronger in Cold War than it was back in Black Ops 2 originally. Like, if you were to have an AK-74U in Cold War, you could map someone without too much difficulty from top red to top kitchen, right? Or top laundry, sorry. Like, you could make that gunfight happen on raids in Black Ops Cold War. Try and do that in Black Ops 2 with an MSMC, you are going to get gunned down by an M8 every single time, because unless you just have an ungodly shot, because after a certain range, the aim assist would actually disappear on certain weapons. So if you were trying to shoot in too long of a range with an SMG, you just wouldn't get any aim assist. So you can take the gunfight, but at your own risk, right? At your own peril. And just in general, the aim assist seemed to be less strong back then. And it makes sense, right? We know what they're planning nowadays. We know what Infinity Ward are up to. They're trying to make the aim assist strong so newer players can have an easier time getting kills. It makes sense. The issue is for competitive that the skill gap in terms of actually being able to aim and shoot straight has really diminished, right? I mean, we saw it certainly in Black Ops Cold War as well when Standoff arrived, right? The new version of Standoff from the Black Ops 2 version. If you were in this window right here in top green, looking across like to the tank on the other side of the map, the cross pretty much from boxes over towards the A site, if someone was trying to run across there back in Black Ops 2, you would have a really difficult time killing them. The aim assist at that range on the ARs would be very weak, if not non-existent at all, and you would have to be really shooting straight to kill someone crossing that way. In Black Ops Cold War, no issues at all. You use the Krig, like, you're gonna die every single time because the aim assist was so good, you kill in 5 bullets, no recoil, all this type of stuff really makes the Call of Duty games nowadays, at least in terms of shooting, way easier than they were back in, let's say 6, 7, 8, if not further years ago. So is Dashy right about his analysis here? I think that's certainly true. Definitely in the pro scene, it feels like nowadays, like, you can't really tell that much difference between certain players. Hitch made an interesting point, right? When Formal came on the scene, people were like, damn, this guy, like, he's shooting so straight. How is this even possible? And we saw that really with Halo players, the likes of Formal that would come over, because Halo, much more difficult to shoot in than Call of Duty historically. So a lot of these Halo guys would come over and be like, damn, these guys are shooting insanely straight. And nowadays, can you really tell a difference between the real top tier pro and someone on the Paris Legion? Like, not really, right? There is some difference, of course, in gun skill, but it's not exactly mega. So is Dashy's idea a good one in terms of gentlemen's agreementing the dynamic aim assist option? This has been a key issue that people have talked about the last couple of years, that, okay, the aim assist is stronger in general, but there's now options for aim assist like linear, dynamic, like standard, or whatever they are nowadays. And dynamic people are using because it seems to be very good. If the pros decided, look, let's just not use that particular setting, let's use the standard or the linear or whatever, or, not really turn it off. I don't think turning it off would be a good viewer experience, but just try and make it weaker. Who knows? It is possible for them to, because I think last year, auto tactical sprint was disabled in the CDL settings. They could enforce, like, no dynamic aim assist in the CDL settings. Whether the pros agree with this or will do this, who knows? But it's an interesting idea because it would increase the skill gap, and I'm sure a lot of the top players would be on board with it, but maybe other players might not be, right, for understandable reasons. So definitely intrigued to your thoughts on that one in the comment section. I just wanted to finish out with this here from Charlie, and I thought it was kind of interesting. What Call of Duty game you wish you played more during its prime year? Like, my favorite COD game is Black Ops 3, but I played so much of that game, I'm not even sure I could have played any more of it. The game I'm thinking of might, like, this is a weird answer, but I might even say Infinite Warfare, because that game was actually, towards the end of the title especially, and even at the start, it was a fun Call of Duty game, especially looking back on now. The maps were pretty good, all things considered, and I think I didn't really play much of that game at all, because I played a fair bit of Modern Warfare Remastered at the start of that year's cycle, which I don't really regret, but I probably didn't play as much Infinite Warfare as it would have been fun to. I played, like, so much Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 2 and even Black Ops 1 and stuff, that those answers maybe don't really make that much sense, but very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you are new, take care, and I'll see you next time.